Good evening everyone and welcome to Bear Beer Reviews. Tonight's beer is 5 Points Brewing Company's Hook Island Red. Interestingly enough, I've had this bottle for a little while now, a couple of months. I got this at the London Vegan Beer Festival that I know I've spoken to you all about quite a few times when they did a store with Brass Castle and did some bottle swaps while I was there too. This was on the bar at Checkers Micro Pub. And I was desperate to get my hands on some, and I was working behind the bar, and it just, the last few pints, I pulled them through, and I was unbelievably sad not to give it a try, because everyone who had it said it was an absolute hop monster. Speaking of which, this one is brewed with Chinook, Columbus and Simcoe, so some huge hitting American hops right there. I mean, Simcoe's all the rage at the moment. It is 6%. I love the branding they've got. It's just super simple, super sleek. They brew down in a little place in Hackney. That's their actual logo there, the 5 inside the Pentagon, obviously 5 points. Super sleek. Yep, brew in Hackney, so one of the new kind of London craft beer. Can't get those. There we go. One of the new London craft beer producers, and they were a pleasure to meet. So I'm looking forward to their beer, and hopefully it's a pleasure to drink as well. So pour it out into my glass. And we have, as suggested by the name, Hook Island Red, a lovely red coloured beer. It's a really, really nice ruby tone to that. I'm assuming this is bottle condition because it's from the London Vegan Beer Festival, so I don't know actually. Doesn't particularly look like it, he says. Doesn't actually say on the bottle as well, but it's quite cloudy, so I'm assuming there is a level of yeast in there. Obviously, vegan brewers don't use traditional finings because it's isinglass and that is fish guts, and that's not a good thing for if you're a vegan or vegetarian. So they're usually bottle condition and they don't filter or fine. There is a massive amount of carbonation. Actually, it's more easily seen on that side of the glass. It's just an entire wall of bubbles there. There's a nice, about a 1 finger head, but it's sticking around for the ride by the looks of it, and you can already see it laces really beautifully as well. I'm not even taking a sip yet, but it laces really nicely. Cool, let's get a nose in there and get some aromas. Oh, wow. Now, I've just done a homebrew. And it was, well, actually it was Centennial. This is a Chinook and Columbus, but I did a homebrew with a double IPA with just with Summit's bittering and Centennial for flavour and aroma. And the aroma on this is very, very similar. So I was quite surprised to see it wasn't Centennial, but it's like amazingly piney and citral, almost orangey, kind of tangerine-y, super sweet aroma. And it's pungent. It is really pungent. To quote the term, well, to use the phrase, it's dank. It's such a wet and juicy aroma on this. Oh, you could smell that a mile off. You really could. I'm guessing there's a good level of crystal malt in this as well, because it's that really sweet overtone to it all. But my word, it smells really nice. It smells really nice. So let's get in there and give it a try, everyone. Cheers. Oh yeah, there is a massive amount of crystal in this. You can tell it has just that really caramelly and a lot of residual sweetness to it. Obviously, that's what's giving it the red colour. This slightly darker malt, it's bleaching the beer. That darker colour, it's adding extra caramel, extra malty flavours to the beer, and then you get this massive onslaught. And I mean massive onslaught. This beer has got a really, really bitter edge to it. I like my beers bitter. I really do. This is just pushing the limits for me, though. My entire mouth, the entire mouth feel goes unbelievably dry towards the end, especially its aftertaste. It's like tongue-strippingly bitter. There's also a really nice level of of hop flavour just after you'll get the crystal malts, you'll get the malty flavours, you'll get this bit of a waft of bitterness, and it just sort of gets tempered a bit by, as I was describing on the nose, you get like a citrus and pine flavour. I mean, this is Simcoe, so Simcoe is kind of the, if you could choose words for Simcoe, it would be citrus and pine. It's just a very specific hop, and what you can smell in the nose comes through in the palate, which I quite like a lot. It's almost like you're tasting it through your nose, just without kind of without too much of the malt flavour or the extreme bitterness. It's really, I quite like this. It's nice. It's a really nice flavour to the beer. I just think perhaps that the bitterness is so astringent. So astringent. I could only really have the one of these before I kind of go, God, the dry finish just, it doesn't make it drinkable enough. It's like it's got a bit of a, it's a bit of a power, a bit of a punch. It knocks some flavour into your mouth. And I like my beers bitter. You really do. I've drunk some ridiculously strong double IPAs. I've had the Mikkel 100 IBU, although I have had the 1000 IBU as well. Two extremely bitter beers, I might add. Sorry, no, 1000 IBU and the 10,000 IBU, not the 1000 IBU, not the 100 IBU. And this is really knocking me for six. It's a little bit, maybe it just needs a little bit more balance. Perhaps amping up the ABV slightly, adding a bit more residual sweetness just to counterbalance it, or perhaps just slightly less of a bittering quotient. But having said that, I'm going to give this a nice, good, solid 7 out of 10. I like this beer. I do like this beer. I'll certainly have it again. If I see it on a bar, I'm more than likely to go for it. It's a great American, I call it an American amber style beer. I'd probably classify it as that. And I like my beers hoppy, and this is everything you want from a hoppy beer. It's got that nice caramelly, toffee-esque note from those extra malts that give it the red colour, which is exactly what you want in an amber beer, and it also has the hops that counterbalance it. I just think it's perhaps too weighted in the hops flavour, shall we say. Still, a really nice brew. Go on, give it a shot. I know 5 points do some. I've got a couple of bottles of stout actually that I've been meaning to do a review on for a while, and they can sit and age for a little while. But they're old export, I want to call it. I think it's the old export stout. That's really is a corking beer, that one. So 7 out of 10, good beer. Please comment, like, favourite, subscribe. Tell me what you think if you have tried this beer. And until the next Bear Beer Reviews, cheers everybody.